This morning, we are spotlighting the Mica Miller investigation. FBI agents were recently seen searching the home of her widower, who has been questioned about her mysterious death. More than a dozen agents were spotted removing items from the home of Pastor John Paul Miller. This happened on Friday. A crowd of protesters lined up outside of the home to watch all of this happening. And one group of women, they've been following the case and demanding answers. Take a listen.
Waiting 6 months for something to be done, and hopefully justice will come faster and he'll be put in handcuffs and put in jail.
Back in April, 30-year-old Mica Miller died by an apparent suicide. Her husband addressed his congregation publicly at Solid Rock Church there in South Carolina after her death.
I got a call late last night. My wife has passed away. And yeah, it was self-induced. And it was up in North Carolina. And we're going to have a funeral for her next Sunday here at 3 p.m. And so it's all I can, I'm just kind of going on adrenaline right now. So y'all pray for me and my kids and everybody. And y'all knew that she wasn't well mentally and that she needed her medicine that was hard to get to her. And so I'm sure there'll be more details to come. But just keep our family in your prayers.
Pastor Miller was questioned and not charged in the case of his wife's death. It was ruled a suicide by officials, but some claim that he was abusive toward her, and many are left skeptical that he may have somehow had a hand in her death. He, again, has denied any involvement. And we're bringing in someone who has been there on the ground in this area, watching and tracking what has been happening, and someone who even recorded outside of the home of John Paul Miller. So we want to bring in our guest now. We have CJ, a YouTuber. We also have with us still Chief Anderson, but also CJ of the YouTube channel Evil CJ Media Investigation. So thank you both for being on. And CJ, I do want to start with you, your reaction to this news of the FBI investigation.
It was shocking and surreal both at the same time. I was working on another case at the time, and they let us know that it was going down. The craziest thing to us was it was for interstate domestic violence and not the financial crimes. So that was the biggest shocker to us. Cars up and down the road on both sides, just a lot of activity, a lot of agents out there. Very surreal.
And tell me again what you just said, CJ. You mentioned that it was not about the financial. Tell me about how you were able to learn that and what details you were able to draw about their reasoning for there. We've reached out to the defense team to see if they could give us clarification. Haven't heard back yet, so we haven't independently confirmed this, but let me know just again what you were able to find out.
It was actually another news organization that had put the code out there. And so when the code made the rounds, that's when you look it up, and it was for interstate domestic violence crossing state lines involving the death of somebody else.
Chief Anderson, your thoughts on this stage that we're in, where it seemed that Pastor Miller had been cleared of his wife's death, and People magazine, who's been in contact with the FBI or spokesperson there, called it a, quote, parallel investigation that's happening now. What does that look like when you have a parallel investigation?
So, yeah, parallel investigation. There have been times where state agencies and government agencies have conducted investigations into the same victim, if you will. Those two investigations are conducted in a way that the state handles their portion, but the federal agents are looking at it from a completely different lens. So yeah, but they are both working together. So in a case like this, I can see where they may have cleared him from physically acting in her demise, but there are other charges that could stem from her demise that he was listed as a suspect in. So yeah, but it's going to be very interesting. I've never seen a case such as this in my years of investigating cases. So this is going to be very, very interesting to see. And that's the reason why you saw the FBI going into the house and looking for physical evidence like diaries and things of that nature. She may have written something down or put something in her computer that would suggest that he had a hand in her demise.
I'm really glad you pointed out about the FBI getting involved, because it's hard to know what drew them to this investigation. But let's take a listen. You mentioned diary. We did hear from Mica in a way through her social media. Here's a post that she put on Facebook before her death.
Hey everybody, I just want to let you know that I'm alive and well, and life's been kind of crazy the couple past weeks, months, years, but I've kind of had to keep my circle really small for the past couple weeks, just because I'm going through a lot and it's hard, and it's my cross to bear. It's the thing that God has put in my life to deal with, and I don't want to bring a lot of people into it.
The attorneys who are representing Pastor Miller, they highlight the mental health struggles that Mica was going through, claim that there was some untreated bipolar disorder and that she was not in a good place. So they've been really leaning into that, CJ, as him not having any involvement, that there was no abuse. But what did you learn and what drew you to this investigation? Because I know we have video that you took when you were there on the ground at this home where she took her last breath.
When it comes to, basically, once we came across it, me and the team, none of it made sense to us. When it comes to where the evidence was, the different, I would say, injuries, or the way that certain things happen without being too graphic to the body, and how it doesn't make sense with how her body was found. There's just a lot of things in this case that just don't make sense. And whenever myself and the team come across cases where a lot of things don't make sense, that's when we try and get in and help any way we can. It's just so sad. Like, you look at, even with, like, what you were saying about the lawyers on his side, it's almost like if you read their messages and their statements, they just get done telling you about her mental health and how it's what contributed to what took place. And then after they tell you that, they then double down again on it, just to remind you in case you forgot about the last sentence that you read. So there's a lot of interesting things that are odd and don't make sense, and that's why we're here. We're just trying to help find truth and answers.
And CJ, you visited the state park as well?
Yeah, we've been on location here for a good part of 5 months. I've been to Lumber River State Park 9 times now. Done investigations. Here's some of it right now. We've done boots on the ground, boats on the water, trying to explore all theories, thoughts, and opinions, all avenues, and then kind of dissect what doesn't make sense or fit, and then kind of see where that leads us.
Of course, that state park where she was located. Chief Anderson, just the last question about the potential for this parallel investigation that we've been talking about. Is it possible that he would be cleared completely of the death of his wife, but still face charges that relate to potential grooming? That's something that has been alleged, but not anything that he's been charged with. But a question about what was going on in their relationship leading up to her death.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely possible in a case like this. There's so many layers that go into an investigation that some people don't realize. And I'm glad that there is a public outcry in her death, because yes, even though she may have had mental health issues, she may not have had mental health issues, but when there is someone that is there that is pushing the buttons Knowingly pushing the buttons that causes someone's demise, that is illegal, and you could face charges. So I'm glad to see that there is a public outcry in a case such as this, and I'm interested to see where it's going to go, because from what I'm seeing, there are a lot of layers that goes into their marriage and their relationship, even after they split. So yeah, this is going to be interesting to see. And yes, he could face charges outside of being charged with her death.
We will continue to follow this case, and if we learn more about this FBI raid, we will bring it to you here on Court TV. CJ and Chief Anderson, thank you so much for your time and being with us this morning.